Well, at this point, the scorers completely lost track of anything and everything that was going on.
Just so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Great vibe.
It's 1986. I'm a kid, and I just started driving. And my sister, Dory, and I, and occasionally my dad, when he could get off work, we had a track that we like to go to, Bloomington Speedway in southern Indiana. And it's a quarter-mile dirt track. And we went down there and spent a lot of the summer in 1986 trying to get our start in these old hobby stocks. That's where everybody starts, right? So we had a 1968 Chevelle with a transplanted 455 Oldsmobile engine and a 4-speed transmission that we raced in third. And we ran down there and we got the results that you would typically get with a brand new driver that had never done this before, no experience in go-karts, I'm just a kid, and you're out flailing around. And so we raced there for most of the summer, had a really good time, never scored any wins. I hadn't won anything in my career, which was only that summer. It only started that summer. And at the end of the year, they had a series of final championship races. And so I thought, I'm not going to miss this. This is the last week of August, 1986, in Bloomington, Indiana. And I thought, they're having all these championship races for every class under the sun. You run what you brung. I'm not going to miss it. We may get to race 3 or 4 times the same night. There's got to be a race that we can find that we can be competitive in. So they ran all their championship races that night. We got down to the last one. It's the last race of the night. I finished like 5th in one and like 10th or 12th in another. So I mean, it's just typical results for us. But on the last race of the night, we actually had random starting spots. Well, I started inside row 2. And I thought, good a chance as I'm going to have. And at the end of the year, there were some teams that run out of money, and some teams had been saving money all year. So you had this wild mishmash of cars out there. You had guys that were expert level dirt track drivers on the same track with, I think, 19 cars that night, with probably half of them who were brand new, were bringing their cars out for the first night. They had the fish out of water. So you had super fast guys and dead slow guys swerving all over the place. And I thought, you know, all we need is a little bit of luck. And with the classes structured the way they are at the end of the year, maybe we can pull something off. So we go out and start in third, and 4th place gets past me, then I pass him right back real early on. And we, in just probably, because of the mixture of people in this class, in probably 4 or 5 laps, we're in lap traffic. And the lap traffic is really slow, and the front guys are really fast. And so, I mean, we're whizzing past guys, but the 3 of us are not quite nose to tail. There's maybe 2 car lengths between each of us. And so I'm driving down the backstretch thinking, okay, everybody's cards are on the table. It's a 3-man race. This is what we got. Now let's see what we can do from here. So let's see how much time we have, because it's a short race. It's like 15 laps, 20 laps, probably 20. But anyway, we come out and have a yellow, which is no surprise with as many rookies as we had. And besides dirt tracks, man, you can't go 5 laps without a yellow. So we have a yellow. Somebody like turns it sideways or something in turn 3 and 4. And so everybody slows down. And at this point, the scorers were still doing their job. They were still up on it. Now remember, this is in the days before transponders. There wasn't a single transponder in the field. This is 1986. And so what the scorers in the tower see becomes a reality. There's no fail-safe here. So yellow comes out, And the two guys in front of me are really fast and really experienced. And so I think it was like a number 7. One of them was a Camaro, and I can't remember what the other one was. And so they slow down, and I come in third place. And sure enough, we get nose to tail, single file, and the rest of the field cleans up and does the thing everybody always does. No problem. Green flag comes back out. And I'm thinking, okay, now I got my shot. Now let's see what this guy's got. Well, I pushed him a little bit, and he overdrove it into turn 1. And so he slides sideways, gets way up high and overdrives it, washes up high on the track, and I get a nose underneath him. So I pass him going down the backstretch. And I thought, so far so good. We're from the second row all the way up to second place. And then we start getting into traffic again. And I realize, I may be chasing this guy down just a little bit. But he's fast. He's quick. He's probably got 3 car lengths on me. And we start darting through traffic. And we are flying past traffic because the back guys are slow on top of slow. So I come all the way up on him, and just after a lap or two, it didn't take very long, he's weaving his way through traffic, and he comes up on a car that's driven by a rookie. They go into turn 1, and the rookie tries to get out of his way. Big mistake. When you're racing and you're being passed, hold your line. Be predictable. Well, this guy was a rookie. I mean, I didn't have much more experience than him, so I'm not going to throw him under the bus. But he thought, I got to give him the low line, so he moves up. Well, the number 7 car guessed high. So he goes around the outside, and this car turns right into him and takes him up and over the berm and off the other side of the track, but neither of them hit the wall because the wall's way off the berm. So they're both driving around the outside of the track, and I go on the low side because I see what's happening, and I don't want any part of it. I go on the low side, get under both of them, and I take the lead down the backstretch. And so here I am, a kid looking for my very first win, and I'm like, yes, something's finally going right for us with our inexperience and this old car that we can barely keep running, and for a night, we're actually fast. So I'm leading, and the yellow comes out. And so I slow the field down, but there's a bunch of rookies behind me that think they can make their lap up. And so they're going past me. So I drop my window now, and I'm waving my hand out the window, number 1, slapping the top of my car. Number 1, everybody chill, and holding the guys up. And 2 or 3 of them start going past me again. Well, at this point, the scorers completely lost track of anything and everything that was going on. No transponders. And so they have this long yellow that takes an eternity to clean up, and then they start trying to find the leader. And the flag man is out there looking and holding the flag and pointing his flag and looking. He has no idea who's leading this race. And I'm looking at him, gunning my engine, rum, rum, hey, bang, bang, look over here, I'm number 1. Not a clue, not the slightest clue. The scorers upstairs have completely lost track. Well, I didn't realize it until later, but they actually radioed down to the flag man and said, pick one. Just pick one. We don't know what's going on. And so that's what he does. He simply waits until he sees a pause, and he throws the green flag again. So they've completely lost track of who the leader is. Not only do they not know that I'm leading, I don't think they really knew who they thought was leading. So a few laps go past, and it's only like 1 lap, maybe 1 or 2 laps. And by this time, we're halfway into the race, and another big yellow comes out because we've got a bunch of rookies out there. And this one is a bit harder hit. And I pass the start-finish line. I come back around, and the yellow comes out. Well, scoring reverts to the last scored lap. So I took the lead. We ran a lap, yellow. Green comes out, ran maybe a lap or 2 at the most, yellow. And it takes so long to clean it up that they do what they did a lot of times in short track races. They thought, we've been out here for half an hour, throw the checkered flag. So they threw the checkered flag, picked some guy out, and awarded him the trophy. And I go back to my pit crew. My sister is there. I don't think my dad was there that night. My wife-to-be was there. And I'm like, what happened? And I'm walking up and down pit road saying, what happened? And I ran into a guy and he goes, I'll tell you what happened. We won the race. We got the trophy right here. I was like, if I'm first, you can't be. So I thought, all right, something's going on here. And I thought, I gotta figure this out. I mean, okay, fine, the other guy got the trophy. You know, it's not the end of the world. But it was my first win. You know, there's only one first. And it was my first chance to win a race. And so I started asking around, and lo and behold, they had a guy in the overhead tower who was running an old 1980s VHS video camera. And I said, you got a tape? And he goes, $25. And I'm like, I didn't have anything. I mean, we were buying used snow tires for $5 each from a local used auto parts store just so we could go racing. But I came up with $25 that I didn't have, gave it to the guy, went home, put it on my VHS, and was freeze framing all the way through there. And if you know what you're looking for, I'm the only blue number 21 with white numbers in the field. And you can see the roof of my car go past because the camera guy was as confused as the scorers and the flag man. He eventually was just kind of like, I'm just going to follow some people out here in the field. And you can see the green flag waving, and you can see the roof of my car because he's shooting somebody on the backstretch. And so his camera's going like this, and you can just see the roof of my car go past under green flag racing. You see the flag, you can see the top of my car. Then the next time around, the yellow comes out. Then they throw the checkered flag to end the night. So that was the only validation that I ever had for that race. Bloomington Speedway never corrected it, and I never asked them to. It's not the end of the world. There's a short track race on some, quarter-mile dirt track in southern Indiana. It's not a big deal. But your first win is always your first win. And so I wanted to prove to me, okay, I'm not crazy. I can figure this out. So after wailing and gnashing of teeth and walking up and down pit row and finding a guy weeks later who had a VHS and then paying him to copy the VHS and then taking it home and still freeze framing all the way through it, I finally figured out, it was August of 1986. That was really my first win. And I can prove it now.
Just so good.
Yeah,
So good.
great vibe.
Well, back in my office, I have behind my desk 3 8-foot glass cabinets full of all my trophies. But that's not really all my trophies. The car that we drove in 1986 was a 68 Chevelle, and we named it Sherman because it was built like a tank. And I like to try to keep some trophies that show the war that happens down on the track. And this is one of them. This is the left rear tail lamp cover off of Sherman. And you can see where they sheet metaled over, and it got torn up right here, where the light would have been for the left rear tail lamp. And you can see that it was painted black, blue, and red at various points in time. Maybe it was yellow and green too, I don't know. And this is pretty heavy. And if you look inside the slot where the little bulb would go for the tail lamp, there's dirt in there. And I never bothered to take it out because that's actually clay from Bloomington and Paragon Speedways in southern Indiana. And so this hangs in my racing shop today. And I like to just keep little reminders and battle trophies, if you will, of things that actually came off the racetrack as they came off the track at the moment that it happened.